Hello everyone. Now you will hear a short summary of the film called 1992. Enjoy watching. Los Angeles, April 1992. Ex-con Mercer tries to get back to normal life and mend fences with his schoolboy son Antoine. He doesn't like his stern dad, but his mom and grandma recently died, so he has nowhere else to go. Mercer tells his son that he understands all the difficulties, but together they will definitely cope. Mercer ordered his son to go straight home after school. There were riots looming in the city today. Riggins' relationship with his father is also difficult. He would be glad not to communicate with him at all, but his father had been planning the robbery for a whole year, and he couldn't do without an experienced safecracker. Mercer popped into the store. Two thugs showed up, started being rude and calling the saleswoman names. When Mercer reprimanded them, the jerk started waving a gun and even put it to the experienced gangster's temple. The gang leader entered the store and calmed down the insolent subordinate. The gangsters hoped that Mercer would return to their gang, but instead the man got a job at a factory. This is the factory that the family of robbers is going to rob. Platinum is used in production and there is $10 million worth of it. They will need to open the safe. Its walls are 45 centimeters thick, it opens with 2 keys and a code. They will get inside through the loading shop. At the end of this huge shop there is a safe where 400 kilograms of platinum is stored. The main thing is to prevent the guards from pressing the alarm button, then they are finished. Lowell is afraid that this is too difficult a job, a lot of security and cameras everywhere. So he refused to participate in the robbery. Mercer came to work. Despite his dark past, the guard Joseph treats him well. While working, Mercer heard on TV that the cops who beat Rodney King were acquitted. The unarmed black guy was hit more than 50 times with batons. Riots immediately began in the street. As Antoine promised his father, he ran home immediately after school. He saw an indignant crowd, and soon shots were fired. Black residents of Los Angeles began to smash store windows and destroy cars. The plant manager told the workers to go home early today because of the riots. Riggin realized that the riots could work to their advantage. Dennis was watching cartoons and eating cereal with milk when his older brother ordered him to get ready. They were leaving for work right now. The fourth in the gang will be Riggin's best friend Copeland. The criminal will have a pregnant wife waiting at home. Joseph was left alone to guard the plant's territory. Mercer asked to bring his son here so that they could wait out the riots here. After all, they live in the ghetto, where complete chaos is about to begin. Lowell wanted to take 2 more accomplices with him, experienced robbers. Riggin tensed up, because he did not know these people. Mercer barely moved around the city in a car. Under the cover of protests, some comrades rob nearby stores, others fight with the cops. Mercer finally got home, but Antoine was no longer there. The tension on the streets is growing. The robbers are slowly moving towards their target in a van. The police definitely don't have time for them now. Riggin got out of the car at the checkpoint and spoke to the guard, after which he knocked him out with a taser. The bandits handcuffed the guard and drove into the plant's territory. Joseph was about to grab a bite to eat when suddenly 6 unknown guys appeared in front of him. Riggin hoped that there would be no bloodshed, but Joseph reached for his gun and Murphy shot him. Riggin attacked Murphy, they threatened each other, but Lowell ordered them to cool down and get back to work. Dennis felt uneasy. It was getting dark outside. Mercer was looking for his son everywhere. A gangster friend offered him a gun and to have some fun with them, but Mercer refused. There is chaos all around. But the gang is acting in an organized manner. They brought a forklift to the safe, taking all the necessary equipment. Time to open this steel box. Mercer finally found his son. He was watching as a crowd of outlaws broke into the store and took everything they saw. Dad grabbed Antoine by the collar and dragged him to the car. It turned out that Joseph had survived. While the robbers were drilling into the safe, he was crawling towards the alarm button. Everything was going well for the bandits until they heard the alarm. Another large metal box was descending on the safe from above. Riggin immediately flew into the forklift and managed to stop the structure with its help. However, in doing so, he ran over Copeland's leg. The bandits found themselves in a difficult situation. They could not move the forklift, so the only way to get Copeland out was to take his leg. To stop Riggin from arguing, Murphy took the ignition key. Lowell clarified that they would deal with Copeland's leg only after they had sorted out the safe. The big guy Titus turned off the alarm and finished off Joseph's guard. The police are going to check the plant by helicopter. Mercer and his son are heading there too. The riots are not dying down. Antoine can't sit in the car. The kid also wants to take part in the protest. He is so angry at these white cops. Dad asked him not to be stupid, because at such moments the protesters do not think about the consequences and destroy everything in sight. The father and son saw how two thugs were going to steal the car of a white couple. The guy could have gotten a bullet at any second, but Mercer intervened and gave these two a hard time. The guy got back in the car and drove on to the plant. The safe cracking work continues. Copeland's leg has been chopped off after all. Dennis is keeping an eye on him. A hole has been made in the steel door, big enough to plant explosives. However, they had to stop for a while. A police helicopter flew in. However, the cops just glanced at the building from the air and concluded that everything was fine. Antoine is delighted with how his dad beat up those thugs. However, Mercer thinks that he has nothing to be proud of. The cops stopped the car, saying it was curfew. But the White family drove on without any problems. Antoine started to get indignant. So they roughly laid the guy on the hood and handcuffed him. They pointed a gun at Mercer. The guy started crying. They didn't find anything stolen in the car, so the father and son were released, although with threats. The safe was blown up. There were small platinum bars inside. Now they could get in the van and get out of here. Lowell is proud of its son. They will become millionaires. Mercer drove up to the plant and was surprised that there was no guard. He had to open the gate himself. Antoine asked to go to the toilet. Dennis was there, and he pointed a gun at the guy. At the same time, Mercer found Joseph's body. He armed himself with the guard's gun. In the corridor, robbers started shooting at Mercer, causing him to drop the gun. The man ran after his son, but he was no longer there. The robbers lost Mercer and started searching the plant. Mercer turned off the light and then grabbed a pipe. He hit the big guy Titus several times. Mercer continued to run. He saw Riggin driving up to the van and knocked him out in one go, taking his gun at the same time. Copeland is in a really bad way without his leg. He constantly groans and wheezes. Dennis dragged Antoine to his father. The boss started to put pressure on the kid to find out what the hell he was doing there. At the same time, Mercer beats information out of Riggin. Mercer wanted to kill the robber. But he changed his mind and simply knocked him out. He went down through the roof into the shop and saw some gray-haired guy talking to his son. Copeland started moaning again. Lowell got mad and shot the one-legged guy. And the scumbag is ready to let the kid go, because he found his license and knows where he lives. So if Antoine goes to the police, the bandit will find him and kill him along with all his relatives. The boy wandered towards the exit. However, at that moment, the accomplices came running and told the chief that some guy had climbed in. Lowell immediately ordered Antoine to return. He guessed that this was the boy's father, whom he had mentioned earlier. Now he could use Antoine as bait. Titus found out that the rotor had been taken out of the car, so they wouldn't be driving it anywhere. Dennis would like to find his missing brother, but his dad was more concerned about how to get the platinum out of here. He ordered his accomplices to load the precious metal into the car anyway. Mercer tried to attract the attention of the police, who were flying past the plant again, but Murphy noticed him instead and attacked him from behind. The bearded man started beating the worker to get him to give them the rotor back. The big guy knocked the gun away. A fight broke out between them, and Murphy hit the guy with an iron pipe. But Mercer was the first to get to the gun and shot the criminal. His body fell down to the other bandits. Mercer returned to Riggin and began to reproach him for not living by the thieves' laws. Their man was injured, and they immediately finished him off. So Riggin learned that his dad shot his best friend. The bandits are busy destroying evidence. Dennis asks Antoine where his brother is, to which Antoine replies that if he knew, he would have definitely told. Riggin said that his father was a complete scumbag, and it was a miracle that Mercer's son was still alive. He had witnessed a murder, which meant he was definitely finished. Lowell pointed a gun at the boy and forced him to ask his father to save him, and then offered to exchange his son for his son, plus the rotor, of course. Riggin warned that his father could not be trusted. He would kill both him and Antoine. Mercer offered Riggin to help him get his son back. During the exchange, Titus first took the rotor and carried it to the van. When the engine started, Lowell was about to finish off the kid, but he did not expect that the eldest son had already conspired with the worker and they, together with Mercer, opened fire on the old man. During the shootout, Dennis was wounded in the back. Together with his brother, the kid climbed into the van. They hoped to escape with Antoine and his father. While Mercer was opening the gate, the bandits were almost on top of them. Lowell, of course, didn't need his sons, but the platinum loaded into the van. Dennis needed to get to the hospital as soon as possible, but his father ordered Titus to shoot at them. Dennis bled out and died in front of his brother. Riggin started shooting back, he was also wounded, but then the man took aim and hit Titus. Now he had to get rid of his dad. However, Lowell shot his son first. Mercer was distracted and crashed into another car, causing the van to flip over. Lowell stomped on the platinum plates and approached his choking son. He told him that he had done all he could. After that, Lowell finished off his son and was about to deal with Mercer, but Antoine shot him from behind. Father and son got into the car. Antoine looked at the pile of corpses and burst into tears. Finally, they went home.